Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Chrissy here and I hope you're all having a lovely day. Anyway, so today's video, as you can tell, is going to be a book review on this tiny little book, and it's called African Titanics. I came across this book in a library and it was just by sheer coincidence. I went there looking for some new reads, stuff that I couldn't find online. I normally get my books from book recommendations and all of that, but sometimes I do like to just go through the library and find whatever I can find. It's by an Eritrean author called Abu Bakr Kar, and it's translated. This is not its original language. I think it was originally written in Arabic, and I loved, you know, the title of it and the cover and everything. I just thought it was wonderful, and it's by Duff Publishers. I initially wanted to read it because I thought, oh, I know that word, Titanics, you know, it's a famous movie, I've watched that movie, and yeah, I don't think I was ready for what I read in this book, but I'm glad I came across it. So it is a book that kind of tries to normalize, I guess, the group identification that we have of immigration, which is sensationalized by the press these days. It's basically about a journey of a man traveling from Eritrea, which is in the north of Africa, and finally in Tunisia, to try and make the boat journey through the Mediterranean over into Europe through the road of him leaving. And it starts actually early on with him contemplating on the thought, you know, why he should leave, or should he leave, to make the journey to go over to Europe, because he felt that, you know, why not stay in your country? It doesn't matter how many problems it has, just stay there and help build the country. And it's a wonderful way of sort of introducing people to individualizing this whole idea of immigration or illegal immigration, where, you know, this person there had to come through a process where he decided that actually it might be better off for me to leave this place and go over to somewhere else where I can have some sort of peace and normalization. And also it brings about the complexity of such a journey and what it actually involves, which a lot of us aren't really privy to. You know, we don't really know exactly the plight of people who are trying to cross the Mediterranean. We just hear this has happened and it's absolutely terrible. It's the most upsetting and terrifying thing for those people, and I guess this book really brings it to light. But then there's another thing that happens that against this backdrop, which is a love story between the main character and another lady. Interesting, I guess, central character in this book as well is a guy called Maluk, who is somebody who he comes across as he is traveling through. And Maluk is a very interesting character. He's mostly a storyteller, and he kind of talks about all these legendary stories that he's heard, and I guess in a way it keeps them going. And I think the character also mentions at some point that it makes them, you know, it keeps them alive, it makes them feel happy. And I guess that idea of sharing stories when you have nothing else around you. You don't have television, you don't have radio, you don't have books, you don't have anything, and all you have is each other, conversation and story. Even though it's a fictionalized story of the events, I think it's very much what might go on, or helps us sort of picture for those of us that don't really have an idea of what this sort of journey might involve. There's some bits as well that are just incredibly fast-paced and very, very tense, especially the bit where they're going through the Sahara Desert, kind of like 4x4 car, with very little resources to keep them going for the journey that they're supposed to go, because they don't know how long this journey is going to take, depending on what happens. And they're going through these dusty, you know, desert sands, and the weather is also just as unpredictable, and it's just really, really extremely tense and very strange to read, because you're just like, you kind of get, I'm one of those readers, I don't know what you guys are like, but I'm one of those readers that gets completely invested in the story, and I just want the best for the characters, and they come through all these sort of obstacles. It kind of reminded me of Mad Max Fury Road, starring Charlize Theron. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. I think it came out in 2015. That's the kind of tense atmosphere that it has. Another thing about this book is that the language is very descriptive, very elaborate, expressive. As I said earlier, it's translated by Charis Brendin. It was originally written in Arabic. I think it's such a beautiful language, and I think that really comes through in this translation. So as you can tell, this guy goes through many different encounters. He meets loads of different people who have similar stories to him, but very different experiences and very different awakenings on why they decided that they should leave their hometown to be able to make this journey. And some of them make it, some of them don't. I won't tell you the ending because I think it would absolutely spoil it for you. So it's about that journey, a really interesting read. I would definitely encourage everybody to read it. I will be reading more by such authors, Eritrean authors, and anyone else from North Africa. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope that was informative and somehow exciting, and I hope to see you in my next video. Cheers, bye guys.